The argument is, since you cannot remove housing from economy, you cannot remove transportation from housing. And if an average citizen hardly know the difference between housing, works, physical planning, and urban development, and if to an average citizen the outcomes of these functions are the same, you see that everything that has to do with social, physical, economic planning, as expressed through all these different ministries of housing, of transportation, of urban development, whatever name we call them, are all extensions of the planning function. And if, as we've seen, especially in our country, that all this multiplication, duplication of functions, multiplication of responsibilities have not actually made the outcomes of the planning function to trickle down, to be adequate, to be sufficient for the people, how about we just bring them back under one umbrella? And the justification is, when all these functions sit in different ministries, the time, the processes, and the procedures it takes for these agencies or these ministries to sync and come to meaningful decisions that benefit the people, it takes longer. So imagine if Ministry of Works need an input from Ministry of Housing, and because the number of people that need to sign off, that we need to first send our proposal to the post office, then it delivers it to the agency, and maybe after 2 quarters, the response comes back to Works. Now let's compare that to a system where both works, transportation, housing, lands, all these functions are under the same ministry as department. And this, what used to be inter-ministry or inter-agency collaboration or procedures, now become interdepartmental collaboration. So everybody sits at a table, and within 2, 3, 10 meetings within the same ministries, decisions are made, processes are closed. So it is from this angle that I argue that collapsing or consolidating all these functions into one body, into one framework, will not only help save cost of governance, but it will also help us improve processes. It will help us eliminate waste. It will help us budget smarter, budget faster, make decisions faster, implement those decisions faster, because the number of people that need to sign off are now collapsed into few deliberations, few collaborative sessions to arrive at meaningful results. But as good as this sound, I also understand that this was what it used to be, at least in a form. Works and housing were the same before we split them for efficiency purposes. But the argument is, does the means justify the end? Is the trade-off for efficiency really worth it? If we are trading and sacrificing or even losing time, losing money to cost of governance, losing resources in delayed implementation over the efficiency of individual ministry, how well is that paying off for the people, for the citizens? Because at the end of the day, that should be the ultimate goal of whether we centralize or we defragment these functions. So as long as in the real sense of things, the physical expressions, the social expressions, and the economic expressions of planning cannot actually be detached from one another. So why don't we plan them as one holistic process that provides one holistic outcome? And in this process, in real time, housing can give input on a proposal from lands, can give input on a proposal from transport. In real time, transport can give recommendations to housing in minutes, in days, as opposed to the long process of individual budgeting, individual processes that then result in clash. But at the end of the day, this isn't about right or wrong. I believe that a collaborative discussion about this will hopefully reach the right people, or even better, such people join in this conversation to enlighten and educate us on the advantages and disadvantages of either of, should we centralize or should we decentralize the planning functions? What do you think? Share your opinions and also send this to somebody who you believe has an opinion about this. I hope this helps.